So I was practicing yesterday and I could literally feel myself get better, and it inspired me to do a video like this, bringing you top 5 mistakes that we make as guitar players and how to fix these mistakes. So the number one mistake that I think, and these are not in particular order, is that when we learn things, we learn from memory. And I think this is a huge mistake. And I'm gonna show you guys how we can fix this. It's a really easy fix. I'm gonna divide this into 2 parts here. On the left part, we're gonna have chords, and on the right part, we're gonna have solos, right? So if you're learning a song, right? If you're learning a song, let's say, goes like this. Let's take a random song. And then back to. And that's the song. What we're taking from this is we can do that. But it's really easy, and you can Google this, or I'll have it up on the screen, to have kind of a cheat sheet from where you can go from your chords. So you have to know that you can go here. You can also go here. You can go here. Back to A, right? So all the places that A minor has to offer to go, you have to know. So learn the whole thing and then how they got this little thing from that thing. And it's really easy. You just have to have a cheat sheet, print it out, have it on your thing, right? And you can do this in minor and major, right? It's the same exact thing. The second part is the solo. Now, solo is a little bit more tricky, and because you have to learn the whole scale, right? So let's say we're in A minor and we're doing like an old low. Right? From here, when you're learning this and memorizing it by memory, you have to understand what scale this is and how to emulate this in other areas, right? So instead of going, right, that's cool, right? That's okay, but you have to know to do, right? And that kind of shows you more than just memory, right? So the second way, a little bit more complicated, is to understand the whole scale, which I have a video on, by the way, and you can click here if you want to learn that. So don't just memorize things, learn where it's coming from. This will expand your mind significantly. So number 2 is something that I do often lately, and that's going to be practice technique. Like a lot of us just sit down and we go, you know, and this is a lot of fun. I can sit down and play this all day. But when you look into your own playing, there's a lot of technique going on. There's a lot of things I can't do. Like here's the one that I'm working on right now. We go. You see how terrible that sounds? Because I want to do the pick thing, but because I don't have a pick, I'm forced to kind of do it with this finger here, and that's a technique that I'm working on right now. And you want to sit down and work one technique for at least 10 to 20 minutes. So I'll start raking, so I'll work on rake. Right, and I'm gonna bore you with this, but I do that. And then I'll switch to like a bending technique, and I'll go. And to get a perfect bend, you'll realize in 10 minutes, right? We can play for hours, but in 10 minutes you do bending, your fingers are gonna get tired, and you're gonna know, I wasn't as good as bending as I thought I was. And the way I want you guys to practice bending is when you bend, then hit the note that you're bending to. This will get you to that perfect pitch, so go. Right? Right? And that'll get you there. So all the techniques that you're lacking in, do that one. Don't be the guy that goes to the gym that has an amazing upper body and just keeps working on the upper body. Work on your legs, the right hand technique, you know what I mean? Which brings us to number 3. And number 3 is a lot of us who like the solo just play the solos, right? And we never learn the chords behind them, and we just do solos. And the problem with that is that solo is created usually, especially the ones that we listen to and like, are created by the chordal structure behind it. So if we're playing like blues and I'm going, right? That all is created by the chords behind it. And here's why. Because if I go, I played the 1, right? And I went, and that's because that BB box sounds really good on that 1 chord. But if I keep playing BB box on the 4 chord, it just doesn't sound as good as the 1 chord and the 5 chord. And this kind of helps us navigate as guitar players where to shine with our solos and where to go. It's really, really important that you practice solos with chords and understand where you can do what and what sounds good with what. So definitely, like, because you can just mess around with it. You can do 1 and play blues up here and just keep hitting 1. And then do BB box. And go, okay, that sounds good with 1. And then go 4. And just stay on 4 until you find a really cool spot for that 4 chord. And this will kind of self-knowledge you to that next level. Trust me, fellas, this works. And if you're learning something valuable, do me a solid and subscribe to the channel. So number 4 is, I think a lot of people go through this, and it's noodling, right? And I want to kind of show you guys how you can have fun with noodling and keep noodling, but create it into a constructive noodling. So let's stay in A for this video. So if I'm in A and I'm just doing, right, right, where am I going here? There's no direction, right? So here's 2 things that we can add as a constructive noodling here to create direction, right? All you want to do is create direction, and you create music. Without direction, there's no music. So the 2 things that you want to add to this is 1, timing, right? Timing is super, super important. And I'm going to get to this very soon, how I practice timing. And number 2 is add a bass line or chords. If you're that advanced, add chords. But let's add bass line here. Right? Now add timing. See? You see how different that is from the other one, right? Because there I'm just playing notes, but here now you have something kind of making a full circle. It's starting to feel musical, right? So that's, and if you guys want to know what I was doing here, I'm just doing this for my editor to see. For pretty easy, right? And on the bass line, I'm going, and then, right? Very easy stuff, but because I have now brought 3 things together, which is solo, bass line, and timing, You have a thing going on. So do this, guys. Do this and just stick with it. Just practice. And by the way, if you like this tone, you can check it out on my Patreon, and this will be coming free for my Patreon members this month. So keep a lookout for that one. So this brings me to number 5. And number 5 is something that I was doing yesterday, and it kind of brought me back to musical college days, how I used to practice. And this works, right? And you do need headphones for this, but practicing with headphones, right? It just helps so much with timing, right? It has improved my timing dramatically. You want to put big headphones on if you have them, and put on a backing track and play your guitar with backing track or without backing track, but have something ticking, right? Have some sort of metronome going on or a backing track, and play guitar in your ears. It just helps you concentrate way better than out here, right? For whatever reason, even if you're in a quiet room, having those headphones on just gets you locked in. And I do believe 30 minutes of headphone practice equals about hour and a half without headphone practice. So if you guys have the opportunity to do that, definitely sit down and just listen to yourself, right? Because you're now listening to yourself, like how you're doing things and the mistakes that you're making and the timing. I've literally felt getting better yesterday as I was sitting down and practicing with headphones. I could just see just making these minor changes to my playing, and kind of inspired me to do this video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. I love you. Check out the Patreon for cool stuff, and I'll see you guys next week.